What's good, everyone? It's Coach Ábris here, founder of Demi Cycle Protocol, and over the past year we have helped over 50 high achievers and corporate executives over the ages of 40 and 50 naturally double their energy levels, lose 8 to 9 pounds of body fat per month, and get in the best shape of their lives without counting calories, without saying no to their favorite foods, or without having to take these sleep drugs, sedatives, or any kind of medication for the sleep. So we improve their sleep quality and energy levels all naturally. And how do we make this happen? Today we're going to go through the plan, the execution, and the tracking in this beautiful triangle to get results. Let me show. Like this. Like these over here. So you can see once it focuses in. Alright, so you can see the body transformations, but it's not all about the body. It's about their significant improvement in their sleep metrics, in their respiratory rate, heart rate, and all the important data, because here we want to focus on longevity. So probably as an executive or someone working in a high achieving job, you probably aren't focused on becoming an athlete or becoming a bodybuilder, CrossFit athlete, weightlifter, powerlifter, and so on and so on and so on. So such a rigorous routine is not a good fit for you, right? Probably that kind of restrictive diet is not something that you want to follow, but the fitness industry made you believe that, okay, you have to eat chicken, rice, and broccoli and take this and this and this and that supplement in order to have six-pack abs, a slim waist, and generally a body that you can feel proud about and you feel good in your skin, and you can live long while maintaining the lifestyle changes that come with achieving that type of body and that type of physique. But how do you actually get there? What is the plan? What is the execution? And how do we track your progress to make the same kind of transformation that my clients have achieved? And at Demi Cycle Protocol, we follow this kind of triangle framework. So here's the plan. How do you actually get there, right? So the game plan to lose 8 to 9 pounds of body fat on a monthly basis is very simple. I call it the MPS. Wait, let me pick another of these filters. Okay, so MPS. Okay, now it works. So what do I mean by MPS? It's movement, protein, sleep. It's literally the most basic and particularly the simplest way of going about it. Of course, there are many nuances to this topic, but you don't need to be a biohacker or don't need to live a strict lifestyle in order to be able to achieve those transformations. So the most important thing will be movement, hitting your DMT. What does that mean? DMT. Is this a drug? No. In this context, DMT means daily movement targets. So this will be one aspect of hitting your movement targets or movement plans, right, to getting your movement in, is just to always have a solid daily movement target that enables you to increase the total amount of energy that you're burning throughout the day. Should it be 10,000 steps per day? No, probably not at the beginning, right? Because this is kind of like a meme in the fitness community that you have to take 10,000 steps per day and this is the only way of losing weight and you should be starting with that. If that's not sustainable for you or your lifestyle is not yet set up in such a way that you could take that amount of steps, you simply start from 6,000 to 8,000 steps per day. That's going to be completely enough for you. Why? Alright? So the reason behind it is probably you're taking less than 4,000 steps per day right now. You can't imagine how inactive or how sedentary most people, especially executives and people working in software or finance jobs, your lifestyle probably is so sedentary that you're taking less than 4,000 steps per day, and that's not healthy in the long term. It's not good for your heart or lungs and stuff like that, but we need to do something about that, but not by changing it very strictly, very rigorously right away to 10,000 per day, okay? So start from 6 to 8K per day. What is the other aspect of the movement? It's literally another number. I'm writing here 150 M. 150 minutes of intense exercise weekly. This is just an average. But this is what I'm saying. You don't need to train more than 2 to 3 hours per week, heavy and intense enough to make progress. Actually, we have many of our clients training only 90 to 100 minutes per week and they are still making amazing progress, and they manage to completely transform their bodies and also their brain chemistry. So what this does to you is that it elevates certain hormones in your brain, it stimulates your body, and it gives you more energy. So you can better focus on your main high leverage needle moving tasks instead of just building your muscles, right? 150 minutes per week is plenty of time to grow your muscles too. So for example, I'm maintaining this physique right now with 1 or 2 full body sessions per week. I really don't train more than that. And the reason behind it is right now I have another priority in my lifestyle. And probably the same goes for you as well. You're a dad, you have a family, you run a business, or you work a very high performing job. Probably training won't be the number one priority for you. So that's why if you just keep the rule of 150 minutes per day, 6,000 to 8,000 steps, 150 minutes per week and 6,000 to 8,000 steps on the daily, you will be just fine. You don't need more than that, right? And all you need to be able to successfully assemble a plan that actually works for you is just picking the exercises that are available for your environment, for your equipment. And of course, this is where a coach who can program, who has experience with this, can come into the equation, because it helps a lot to know exactly how much, how well are you doing, right? And what type of exercises, what type of movements do you include? So what, how much, and how well? These are the most important questions here, and this is where accountability plays a huge part and coaching plays a huge part, right? Assembling the perfect plan for you. But what is the perfect plan? Something that you can stick to and something that you enjoy. All right, let's talk about protein, right? So here the MPS, the second one is the P, the protein part of it. So when I'm talking about protein, and this is, I purposefully do not talk about nutrition here, right? Because as long as you're hitting your daily protein targets, which should be about 1 gram of protein for every pound of your body weight, or at least every pound of your lean body mass, which you can measure by a DEXA scan. So once you get that sorted and you get that number, once you eat that amount of protein on a daily basis, probably your sweet cravings or your craving for other food, for junk food for example, will significantly drop down. So you don't need to deal as much with hunger, you're less likely to cheat on your diet. So the only thing that we kind of track with our clients is not calories, but the daily amount of protein that they're taking. And I'm gonna be explaining how we exactly do that at the execution part. So for those who are confused, the reason why we are tracking protein is that protein is the most metabolically active macronutrient, which means, in like normal human language, is that it takes a lot of energy to digest, and also the absorption, the synthesization of protein is burning a lot of calories, and it adds and maintains lean muscle mass in your body. So even at rest, you will be burning more calories than someone with less muscle mass than you, and the reason behind it is like muscle is very expensive for your body to maintain. So of course it will keep using calories to maintain that body mass, to maintain that lean muscle mass. So it's very simple. What you should remember here is like 1 gram per pound. Okay, you can see that, hopefully. So sleep. Why is sleep very important? For very good reasons. I write there G, I write there T, I write there GH, and I write there L. What do these letters and what do these numbers and letters mean, right? So 4 very good reasons why you should track your sleep and prioritize that instead of tracking calories. So the reason why our clients are so successful with fat loss and they are able to keep the fat off in the long term is that they are dialed in with their sleep. They are sleeping like a baby, they have a tranquil sleep environment, and the first thing that we start with is that we are getting them an Oura ring. An Oura ring is a device that you put on your fingers, and put on one of your finger, just to be accurate, and it accurately tracks your sleep data, the different times spent in different sleep stages, your respiratory rate and heart rate, and all the important metrics connected to your sleep, and it gives you an overall sleep score by the end of your sleep. Why is that important? Because the better you sleep, and just listen to me, listen to what I'm saying, not the more, But the better you sleep, the more GH, growth hormone, you're producing. What does that do? Increases your fat loss, accelerates your fat loss, and it is anti-aging. So especially if you're a man over 40 or 50, you can expect better skin quality, less joint pains, and overall better feeling, more energy, because you're producing more growth hormone, which has significantly dropped in the last couple of years and decades, of course, since you're not in growth phase anymore. But the better you sleep, the more growth hormone you produce. Okay, what is T? T stands for testosterone. The deeper you sleep, the more testosterone you will be producing, which is primarily a male hormone, but what it does is that it helps you gain more lean muscle and drop more fat. So high testosterone supports a lean and more like fat-free environment for your body. And generally, more energy and a complete lack of brain fog. Because many of you are dealing with this brain fog, lack of focus, lack of energy during the day, because you might think that you overwork yourself, you have too much on your plate and stuff like that, but usually it's either a time management problem or testosterone problem. The higher testosterone you have, the more energy you will have to crush the day. So it's very important to dial in your sleep, especially your sleep quality, the time spent in the deep sleep phase, to make sure that you're producing enough testosterone. Okay, what is L? L is leptin. L stands for leptin, which is a satiety hormone, and G stands for ghrelin, which is the hunger hormone. The better you sleep, the more leptin you produce, and the less the more leptin you produce and the less ghrelin. So, what are these two? So it means that with better sleep quality, your hunger will be lower, your satiety will be higher, so as a result, less food is enough to keep you more full, right? So another reason why it's completely pointless to track calories, because you won't be able to eat that much food that is too much, because you are moving more, you're getting your protein in, you're satiated, and you're sleeping like a baby, and as a result of that, you're less hungry and you're more satiated. So it physically becomes impossible for you, due to these metabolism boosting properties of your program, of your plan, it becomes physically impossible for you to overeat, right? So the only thing that will happen is that you lose fat. That's the worst thing that can happen if you are at least 80% adhering to the plan created by us, Demi Cycle Protocol. These plans have been tested over, dozens of times on entrepreneurs, corporate executives, high achievers, with busy schedules, working 12 to 16 hours a day, having families, taking care of them, all of these different responsibilities that you might experience over the ages of 40 and 50, right? So this is why at the age of 23 I have the audacity to talk about this, is because that we have done this over 50 times again and again and again with our clients, okay? But let's talk about the execution part. It's very important. How do we make this happen? So first of all, I call this NA, natural accountability. That's the first very important step of making sure that you're actually following the plan. The other thing will be, I call this MT, meal tracking. So how do we actually track the meals? And the next one will be movement. So how do you actually carry out those movements that we talked about in the plan? Okay, so natural accountability, what is that? So let's remember a specific scenario from your childhood. Let's say when your parents first told you to, go and take a shower every evening or every morning, whatever, right? They had to tell you this because you were a little kid who is clueless about the world, why certain things are happening, and it's completely okay, right? You have to explain certain things to little kids and have to get them adjusted through repetition, right? But let me ask you a personal question. For you who is watching this right behind from the screens, right? So, have you taken a shower yesterday or the day before or whatever? Have you taken showers consistently throughout your past 10, 20, 30, 40 years? And if the answer is yes, that means that you are naturally accountable to the habit of taking showers. So this is what we do with our clients. We get them naturally accountable. So after 6 months on Demi Cycle Protocol, they will be able to maintain their progress all by themselves. Okay? Very simple. Natural accountability. Like starting a new habit with the brain of a little kid because you haven't done that particular habit before. So for that habit, you're a kid, right? So you start from the mindset of a kid. You have to be kept accountable for certain things. But then, as you repeat over and over and over again, you don't need to be held accountable anymore because you will be naturally accountable to that certain habit, so that you understand what I'm talking about right now. So, what is the next one? Alright, meal tracking. How do we make that happen without counting calories, okay? If you're comfortable with using chronometer or MyFitnessPal, that's completely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But the thing is that you don't need to. It's okay to register your meals, to gain clarity on your macros, that's totally fine. But what we usually do is that we only track protein. So if you want an accurate number, we have actually like a protein chart of what type of meal or food, how many grams of that contains how many grams of protein. So let's say 100 grams of chicken breast equals 22 grams of protein. Let's say 200 grams of low-fat Greek yogurt accounts for 21 grams of protein, or whatever, right? We have a long list of that, and we keep expanding it. And of course, we also have data from meal tracking apps, but only tracking protein. It's very simple. The second step of that is our clients just taking pictures of their meals, sending it over to us. We look at them, and of course, with the experience of many years and decades in the field of fitness, we are able to tell them, okay, approximately with 95% confidence interval, how many grams of protein was in that particular meal and how much carbs, how much fats, and so on. So if they ate more than they are supposed to or not. But there will be one more way of figuring it out, whether they ate too much or too little. Okay, but let's not move that much forward. Let's talk about the movement. How do we sort this out, right? So the Oura ring that I mentioned for tracking sleep, it also helps them track their DMT. So right over here. So that tracks their daily step counts. Okay, but how do we track workouts? So we have an app where you can automatically register your workouts, the exercises you've been doing, and the number of sets, repetitions, and weight. And you can do that in under 1 to 2 minutes per training session. So it's not like you have a logbook, you have to write down everything. It is actually an automatic logbook for your so it automatically logs your workouts. We have complete clarity on your performance, and if that wouldn't be enough, usually, and this is why you should kind of like leave all your discomforts behind, this is where you have to be confident about yourself and kind of like strip yourself off of your excuses. But we ask our clients to record themselves one set of each exercise that they are doing on that particular week, send it over to us. We look at the video and we review their form. So if the form is correct, right, and you have logged your performance, now your coach is able to tell you that, okay, next week you have to lift this much and this much, or you have to perform this much or this many reps on this particular exercise. So what that means is that we only increase the weights or the time spent under tension or the number of repetitions. So we always apply progressive overload, but only if we see that your form was 100% correct. So this way we can permanently prevent injuries or treat them if you have had injuries in the past, right? This is our strategy about it. So this is how the execution works. So now you've got a solid plan. Now you have executed it. How the hell do you know if it works? Okay, so here comes the tracking part. Tracking part consists of 2 very simple steps. Body weight and PP. Don't laugh at me. PP here stands for progress pictures. Okay, and BW stands for body weight. So one interesting thing that we have found useful with our clients is to track their body weight only once per week and ignore the scale for the rest of the week. Why? Because your body weight will fluctuate a lot. You will gain a little bit of water weight, a little bit of glycogen, which is the storage nutrient of your muscles. You will be, you might gain some lean muscle in the process, meanwhile you're losing fat. Lots of fluctuation throughout the week. But what we really look at is the Monday morning. We call this the moment of truth. It's very important. Moment of truth. And I want you to memorize this, to carve this deep into your brain. Why? Is that when you are completely fasted, when you haven't eaten or drank anything yet, and it's a fresh Monday morning, right? Probably you haven't been bowling out on Sunday night, right? Probably you have prepared for the next week or whatever. Probably you got a good sleep in, you wake up, you're kind of like a little bit thirsty, you take a piss, whatever, and then you step on the scale. What happens? You will get your real body weight without any kind of food that you have eaten throughout the day, without any kind of water that you have gained throughout the week, whatever. You will get a more or less true number. And what we're looking at is not the data points during the week, but the trend week after week after week. So if the trend line goes like this, so it goes down, that means you are successful, you have succeeded with losing body fat. Congratulations, right? But how do you make sure that actually you have lost fat and not just body weight, right? There's a significant difference between fat loss and weight loss, and this is what most people don't understand, is that fat loss is when you lose fat from your body and you become smaller, but you start looking actually more defined and toned because you have maintained or even gained some lean muscle mass. And the weight loss is when you just simply become smaller but still end up not being proud of your body, not being proud of the man that you see in the mirror, and still being out of shape, right? Because you have lost fat and the muscle mass at the same time. So your proportions don't really change, your body composition doesn't really change, but your body weight changes. So how do you make sure, without having to take DEXA scans every single month, that you're making progress with your body composition too? Is that you're taking the PP, which is the progress pictures. So every single week, we have our clients take a progress picture from the front, from the back, and from the side. And we put these pictures side by side every single month and every single week, right? So every Monday morning they take these progress pictures and we see, okay, has your body composition improved or not, right? And everything else besides these is just fluff, right? So if you want to take a DEXA scan, do it. If you want to take blood work, do it. If you want to test your testosterone levels, do it, right? But what really matters is these basic indicators of your body weight and your body composition. And everything else, your heart rate, your respiratory rate, your sleep quality, and all these stuff, these are tracked by the Oura Ring. So you're covered on that front. So these are really the only things that you need to track, and that will help you make sure that, okay, are the movement metrics and are the workouts effective? Okay, are you eating enough protein? So do you accurately track your meals? Did your body composition change? Did your body weight change at all? Have you managed to be in a calorie deficit without having to count calories, right? Was your sleep good enough that you could control your hunger urges, right? So all of these things are validated by the measurements. So ultimately, the success of your transformation will be decided by the tracking, right? This is how you measure. And what gets measured gets managed, gets improved. We all know this, especially if you have quite a lot of experience in business. So now, these all together, this is ugly, let me draw it again. So when you look at the plan, the execution, and the tracking all together, they will give you the results. here's the all-seeing eye and the middle. So now you can accuse me of being the member of the Illuminati and yeah, applying some dark occult black magic on my clients to make sure that they are able to achieve transformations like these. Or of course, if you don't believe in conspiracy theories, then simply we can just conclude that our systems and methods work. And if you find this a little bit overwhelming, I can completely understand. And if you would prefer not just copy-pasting this approach, but actually having a plan, the execution and the tracking sorted for you in order to be able to lose 8 to 9 pounds per month, double your natural energy levels and get in the best shape of your life as a high performer over the age of 40, then feel free to go to the description, book a free call with us, and we will craft up the game plan for you and the roadmap for the next 6 months on how we would help you achieve your health goals without counting calories, without taking sedatives or sleep drugs, without abusing stimulants, without saying no to your favorite foods, or without skipping dinners, dates, client events, corporate conferences or whatever, and without spending more than 2 to 3 hours per week in the gym or whatever exercise facility you prefer to use. So if you're that type of person who is ready to make a change, who is a high performer or a corporate executive, or if you're ready to invest in your health and be committed and stay committed to a plan that has been proven dozens of times over and over again, then book a free call with us and we will see if we are a good fit to work with each other. If you're a low performer, if you're someone who hasn't done his part financially in this world yet, or if you're someone who is not ready to stay committed and to become committed to a certain program, then do not book a free call yet. If you prefer procrastinating and if you think that you're not ready yet, if you prefer making excuses, also don't book a free call with us. Let's not waste each other's time, but I can definitely recommend you watching my earlier videos where I help you get your brain, your mind in shape so you will be ready to work with us later down the line. So if you're this type of person, just watch my previous videos, and if you generally like this video and you enjoyed it and you find the plan, the execution and the tracking useful and you would have maybe something else to add, then feel free to write your thoughts in the comment section below, press like, subscribe and share this with your friends, family members, colleagues, teammates, employees or whoever is important to you and you want them to live to 100 years while being a healthy, vital and sexually active adult. Alright, so thanks for watching, see you in the next one.